Normally when I cover drama like this, I'll go ahead and censor out the person's name because I don't want to send my audience of over 3,000 subscribers over to that person to flood them with hate. But in this case, I'm going to make an exception because who they are makes a big difference to the story, and also because they're already being flooded with so much hate at this point. Any small handful of terminally online, terminally angry weirdos who might go from my video to this post to harass them is gonna be a drop in the bucket at this point. But just in case my tone of voice didn't make it absolutely clear my opinion on the statement, don't harass this person, please. Please don't go from my video to their tweet and just quote retweet and pile on, please. This is the no dogpiling zone. That being said, I really want to dive into this tweet because this tweet has spawned an absolute onslaught of, I don't even want to call it hate necessarily, but an onslaught of people who are very angry at this take and vehemently disagreeing with it. So let's just give it a quick read through, shall we? If you're buying a microphone and starting out making content, please stop buying USB microphones, period, especially Yetis. I'm begging of you, please give this a read. And she basically goes on to say that, you know, it's worth the investment. She recommends certain products. But here's the thing. Not only are XLR mics more expensive, you also have to get a separate audio interface and a boom arm and all this other jazz, and it's a huge pain in the ass, right? Now, I genuinely believe this person has good intentions. A lot of the advice here is good. The recommendations and the specific products they are making are good recommendations. But here's the thing. The amount of investment that she is suggesting just isn't feasible for most people. This is a $339 microphone. That's what she's recommending. $339. And even though I'm confident that this is a good microphone, it is almost hilariously out of touch how much she's expecting people to just drop on their audio. I think it's wildly unrealistic and also unnecessary. And I also really don't like the fact that she's specifically calling out the Blue Yeti because, believe it or not, that's what I use. That's what I'm using right now. And do you know why I'm using a Blue Yeti? Because it's literally the best-selling USB microphone, period. And for a good reason. I mean, just listen to it. Is it the absolute most podcast quality audio you've ever heard in your life? No, not at all. Am I Markiplier level of audio quality? Not at all. But it's good enough for what I do. There's no hiss, there's no popping, there's no weird artifacts. It doesn't sound like I'm in an echoey cave. It's good. And depending on where you get it, it's either going to be $9.99 or, you know, if you want to go to Best Buy, it's, you know, $129 or Target at $139. It should not be too terribly difficult for you to find it online somewhere to get it under $100, not including taxes and shipping and all that. I would never say don't get into being a content creator unless you can afford a $100 microphone. To really drive home the point about how you don't need to drop an exorbitant amount of money to sound decent in a video, I'd like to show you this dude. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to take a stab at it. People call him Black Zubooks, I guess. But check this out. This dude is literally wearing earbuds and talking into his earbud microphone. And you listen to him and you tell me what you think.
Who's more dangerous, a rhinoceros or a hippo? Rhinos are the second largest land mammal on the planet at 5,000 pounds, with its main weapon being a blunt horn that can grow up to 55 inches long. They also have really thick skin and can charge at 34 miles per hour. Fast enough to go bowling with hyenas, and mean enough to humble a whole car.
And you'll notice that not only did he sound okay, that's a video with 1.7 million views. So obviously having an expensive $300 XLR microphone is not a barrier to success. Now, it is unsurprising that this post attracted a lot of backlash. Now, not everybody directly quote retweeted. A lot of people just making their own separate takes, like Banicula here saying, "I'm begging everyone to ignore brain rot takes about burning hundreds of dollars on XLR mics when starting out as a streamer." Get only what you can afford and then focus your energy on content, networking, and community building. And I think that's genuinely great advice. And I have seen basically everyone on my timeline dogpile on this tweet. For example, Dakota saying, "Fuck this, buy yourself a USB mic if that's what's in your budget and works for you. There are plenty that'll sound nice and plugins that'll help quality as well. You don't need to spend a ton of money to have nice things. Don't overspend, especially when starting out." And I 100% agree. My buddy Sarkhan saying, "Just in case anyone is curious about audio, Blue Snowball, the OBS noise gate, the OBS compression filter, OBS audio ducking, simple as."
And I really like the candle jack meme, like these days, where like it'll have like a sentence and then it'll cut off right before the end.
Duper chiming in to say, "I made partner with a USB microphone. He uses a Razer Siren. This looks exactly like a Blue Yeti." VV chiming in to say, "USB microphones are fine, especially if you're just starting. Make sure you're capable of sticking to your streaming schedule for a few months at least before you sink hundreds of bucks into equipment. I streamed a whole year consistently before I upgraded my VTuber at all." And that's true. I did the exact same thing. I was a VTuber for like a year before I even found my niche, let alone thought about upgrading my equipment. Brief video intermission here. I just wanted to let you all know that I have actually written a light novel called Writing on Midnight. You can find the link to this light novel in the description below. If you purchase it, it would really support the channel. Back to the show. And to trail off, I wanted to showcase Joyuese, who oftentimes has some pretty base takes. And I wanted to feature what she has to say because, one, it's valid, and really this just gives me an excuse to play a clip of her because I absolutely love her.
Drink water and wear a mask when traveling in public. Thank you!
So when I bought my first microphone 4 years ago, I had zero intention of making this video right here. I was just content with making funny little memes and meme edits and laughing with my friends in a voice call. But back then, when I first got it and started streaming, it does not matter. You cannot hide anything in here from me. Just as soon as I clear this up. There's nothing in. My fan is loud. I sound like I'm miles away from my microphone, and there have been moments where I've peaked in audio unintentionally. So what was the fix, and why do I sound clearer now? If your answer was because you upgraded your microphone, congratulations! You're our first loser of the day, and your prize is nothing. So across the years, I've made many upgrades in my life. I went from a roaring gaming laptop to a cool silent PC, and rearranged my desk space to make room for my figures. I keep my microphone closer to me and speak more clearly since I had troubles articulating. But the most important thing I do is I use audio filters in OBS. It's what I'm using, in fact, to make this video you're all watching right now. But among all of these changes I've made, not a single upgrade went into my microphone. My $30 beater of a mic continues to sit here idle waiting for me to ada into it, and as a beginner in audio, I've never needed an XLR mic for any reason.
She had more to say in that video, but I'm cutting her off because that's the only part of the video that was immediately relevant to my point. Go ahead and go to her page if you want to see the full clip. Now, before I go, I do want to point out that Tessa did make a follow-up tweet where she said that she apologizes if she made anyone feel unwelcome and inadequate, and that was not her intention, and that she'll be more mindful of her wording from now on. I think she was being extreme and aggressive to be more attention grabby and get more eyes on her tweets, and I think that is what backfired. I do feel like she completely missed the point though when she's talking about comparing how people feel about microphones to politics, because it really wasn't the fact that people care so strongly about microphones, it's the fact that the way you worded it made it sound like you were talking down to people who can't afford a microphone. It's not politics if people get mad at you for insulting them. But regardless, I do hope this genuinely dumb drama helped at least one person learn a little bit about their audio, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Bye, guys!